But if you haven't paid attention to Dr. Dandala speaking, when he speaks, he's got this thing of pausing. And when he pauses, if you're impatient, you think that he doesn't know what's coming next. But boy, how wrong you would be, because after that pause, wisdom will be buffering coming from him. You know that pause, right? The Dandala pause, that signature. And then he swings sometimes. And I never know how that swinging happens, but boy, does it happen. On humility, with all Rev. Dr. Dandala's achievements, you would expect a long, laborious introduction when you meet him. No, he doesn't do that. He doesn't oversell himself. He doesn't do self aggrandizing. He doesn't do that. He just is the Rev. Dr. Dandala. He dishes himself with grace, dignity, and a warm smile, not so much about himself, on experience. They say that experience is the best teacher, which means that Rev. Dandala is walking around us as a full university. People talk about massive body of work, but when I look at Rev. Dr. Dandala, I think he's an institution on his own. So you're walking amongst an institution. You may very well help yourself by making time to call and ask him. I'm not saying you must call him a lot, but maybe send an email, ask this and that. I do that sometimes. On the gentle side of Dandala, I was told to keep this introduction very short, but how can I be expected to do so? Really, nobody can expect me to do that because of the massive body of work of Dr. Dandala. He carries serious responsibilities, but every now and then you'll catch that spark of humor that reminds you wisdom and warmth can go together. With those few words, we open the session and we ask Father to pray for us, the devotions. Father Whitley, I saw you.
Whiteman,
Yes. Good evening.
good evening. Could we embrace a moment of silence? My dear sisters and brothers, we gather in the name of God, who is Father, Creator, the incarnate Son, Jesus, the Savior, and the Holy Spirit, Spirit of God, life sustainer, who brings us truth and koinonia within the divine community. For this intentional celebration of a life called by the divine, for ordained leadership, pastoral presence, liturgical guide, academic scholar, seeking to live in humble faithfulness to the one who called. From the scriptures, in celebration of each other, we are convicted to celebrate the God in whom we live and move and have our being. For the Lord is good, writes the psalmist, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. In thanksgiving of the Reverend Dr. Dandala, we discerned and recognized the work of God within him through his life and his priestly, pastoral, and prophetic ministry. God gifted him, as the words of St. James says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. We pause for a moment. Let us pray. Loving God, we give you praise, for you revealed through your Son Jesus' incarnation that you are with us in solidarity with our humanity. and that through him we will have grace upon grace, which is the energy of your steadfast love, even for sinners. Jesus came proclaiming your good news for the world in all of time. And he said, the time has come. The kingdom of God has come near. Repent and believe the good news. Into the person of Christ and his ministry, you baptized us in your inclusive name and community, and called and ordained the Reverend Dr. Dandala to commit his life to the work of your kingdom in the church and in a broken world. You enlightened his conscience and heart to be repentant and to receive the grace of your forgiveness, because like the psalmist, we know our transgressions and our sins are ever before us. Against you have we sinned, but you cleanse us, create within us a pure heart and a renewed spirit, restoring to us the joy of your salvation through the Holy Spirit you give us, so that with a willing spirit we may teach others your ways and that sinners turn back to you. So at the appropriate time, you called him and many to stand up in your name, to speak the truth of your kingdom, which comes to bring justice, to announce peace, which Jesus nourishes with his blood flowing from Calvary, which the world tried to silence to the grave, but you raised in Christ, so that justice rolls on like a river, righteousness like a never-failing stream. You sent your Holy Spirit to empower this mission and ministry of your kingdom, so that being anointed, we may continue the work of Jesus, proclaiming good news to the poor, freedom for prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, and freedom to the oppressed, proclaiming the year of the Lord's favor. So we ask you to bless with your presence this occasion to celebrate and give thanks for the life of your servant, Reverend Dr. Dandala, and to continue to bless his family and all whose lives became surrendered and committed to you by faith through his ministry. We ask this humbly and in the knowledge of being undeserving, but in the dear name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
A reading from the scriptures, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 10, verse 28 to 31. Peter began to say to Jesus, "We have given up everything and followed you." Jesus said, "Amen, I say to you, there is no one who has given up house or brothers or sisters or mother or father or children or lands for my sake and for the sake of the gospel, who will not receive 100 times more now in this present age, houses and brothers and sisters and mothers and children and lands, with persecutions and eternal life in the age to come. Many that are first will be last, and the last will be first." So, in lieu of further celebration, from the Mount of Aleph, from the east of our nation where the sun rises daily, from the village of a Dandala valley and a priestly family, through the teachings of Namase, Fedsim, Cambridge, and formation through theology's black and liberation, Umvume heard the divine voice heard by Jeremiah. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Mvume's heart may have uttered Jeremiah's response. I do not know how to speak. I am too young. But then Jesus said, follow me, and I will make you fishers of people. Like Peter Mvumi began to say to Jesus, we have given up everything and followed you. And Jesus said, Amen. I thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much, Father Whitman, for blessing us with the prayer and this reading. Thank you so much. Now we ask Reverend Mtetwa to do a word of welcome. Reverend Mtetwa, I'm looking for you here. Reverend Mtetwa?
Yeah. So,
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
thank you very much, Dr. Telela Netanevika, as a program director, and your team this evening. Because of connectivity, I'll just show my face where if you can see it.
Yes.
And then close it again so that umdala ayazi uba ngubani lo.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the opportunity and the honor to welcome everyone who's on the platform tonight. I will end with the Dandala family. I stand in the shoes of Reverend Professor Dr. Smanga Kumalo, who had an emergency and had to leave this morning. He's on his way back from where he was. And as members of CCT on this platform, someone shared with us, though he had told some of us, and he said we should just keep it tight a little so that we don't dampen the spirit of the celebration. We say commiserations and condolences to the Kumalo family for the loss in that emergency, and we wish them strength, courage, and comfort to face this loss which they've incurred as a family. We welcome everyone, some of the luminaries who have actually been celebrated on this platform before. I see bishops, I see ministers, I see clergy, I see amakosa, I see umanyano, I see students, I see abantu abavala umnyango, those who, when we are going to pray, will close the door, and I'm one of those. We want to say welcome to one and all of you, members of CCT, friends of CCT, welcome. We would like to welcome remember at this time one of ours was a Professor Gordon Zide, who's in hospital. We wish you strength, Kacheni, and full restoration and complete recovery. Vuka from lendawo kuyo, uthabathe umbhede wakho uhambe. I see umfundisi omkhulu, umfundisi uDandala, ugqirha nomama nabantwana. I saw Gqibelo, I saw Hlomla, I saw the family. They are all here. We would like you to feel welcome. Mongameli, siyakuthanda. We had to do this celebration. We celebrated Uma through the launch of the book, got Dr. T, but this is for you. These are your flowers now. And we would like you to have them sapila nawe when we are all going to celebrate. I remember, as we say welcome to everyone, when you and I spent a whole day in your office in Johannesburg at Central Methodist. And this was in preparation for the World Summit on Sustainable Development. And at that time, you were the president of the South African Council of Churches. And I was the national coordinator of the environmental justice at the SACC under the banner of the World Council of Churches. You invited me to your office and said, Nyambos, khulula izihlangu zakho. And you took your shoes off, and we both had, I had sandals, and you invited me to sit on the floor. We were on the floor of the office, and you said to me, take me through everything that I need to know about this whole thing called World Summit on Sustainable Development. We started from 10, we finished around 4, just the two of us. Tea, lunch, and tea. And then I saw humility. Welcome, sir. Welcome to you. Second is when you are the president of the Seth Mukitimi Methodist Church, and I'm in Maritzburg, and I visit to an office in. And this was not long after I've had a stroke. And you saw me walk through your office, and you sat down, and your eyes got wet with salty water. It was out of joy. It was out of joy. It was out of joy looking back at where we have come. We want to celebrate you. Would like to celebrate you in the presence of the family. And everyone else who's here. I've seen past presiding bishops, I've seen current bishops, I've seen presidents, I've seen past moderators of General Assembly, I've seen a whole family of ecumenical bodies that are here, churches, denominations, and everyone else. Would like to say to you, feel welcome and participate. This is your situation, and we love you. Thank you very much. And welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Dr. T.
Thank you so much. I love those personal anecdotes. You know, I mean, did he literally take out his shoes?
Yes, he did.
During the SACC time,
Yes,
and
yes.
he did.
He did.
He did. Thank you so much, Rev Nyambose. And
Thank you very much, ma'am.
yeah, it's a very significant time of Reverend Dr. Dandala's ministry, the SACC, and I know that those who have been tasked to participate in the program will do the reflections of that really important work he did. And during the time this country was really in the deep ends of pain, fighting for South Africa's liberation, but also just deaths. And can we please mute? Can you please mute? If you are not speaking, can you kindly mute? Please, can you please mute yourselves? It causes echo and distraction. So I was saying that that time of the SACC, and I'm grateful that we're joined by the likes of the former IEC chairperson, Dr. Brigalia Bam, and we're also joined by many from the that stint Dr. Dandala had in the All Africa Churches in Kenya, headquartered in Kenya, and we will talk about that later. And I see just people across all spectrums, others coming from business, others coming from academia. And I also see Val. If you know well, Dr. Dandala, you know Val. Val and the writing and the dimension and that era of Dr. Dandala and Val is well recorded within the Methodist Church. Now we move to Lukhona Mnguni. Lukhona, you ready? Now, when you have lived such a rich life like Dr. Dandala, it takes turns and twists and mountains and higher mountains and even more higher mountains. And Lukhona is here to reflect about that critical a moment when Reverend Dr. Dandala decided to join COPE, and their reflections coming from Lukhona Mnguni. Lukhona, I see you.
Dr. T, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
you very much. And let me greet the Dandala family, Obuku, Nomamu Dandala. And let me apologize to my church elders. As a child born and bred in the Methodist Church, I feel guilty that I have to speak before Umfundisi Usiwa. I just asked to be accommodated because I'm at the SABC studios. There's an interview I have to do at Metro FM in the next while. So let me apologize for the breaking of protocol. It's not Dr. T being a rebel. I want to probably first preface my contribution on this one by saying I first met or encountered Ubuku, as I call him, Utatu Dandala, in 1999 at Tembeni Seket in the Clarkbury district. And I saw that the Dabula family is on the call. Bishop Omkulu Didi Dabula was our bishop at that time. And just to introduce myself to you, Bishop Dabula, ndingumzukulwana kaNtobeko Mnguni eBalazi. You'd know him. There are many stories about you too, and the formation of the United Methodist Church, and your times with him in Durban when you encountered each other. But we move on that. Just to affirm what Dr. T was saying about Dr. Reverend Dandala's quiet demeanor or his way of expression, I was quite enthused when I encountered him in 1999 because ngela xesha in the Methodist Church ke thina eClarkbury district sasinabefundisi kwakuthiwa just the recently late umfundisi uNyembenya, omfundisi uvundisa, omfundisi uBhubesi, abantu ababephakama nepulpit, you know, and when they preach you were not sure if the pulpit will be left standing or not. And here was presiding Bishop Dandala at the time engene ngamahashi ehamba phambi kwemoto ayehamba egibele kuyo, you know, accompanying him, and here he was giving a sermon. But this sermon to me was not only just quiet in its approach and in its delivery, but it was so visionary, and it was talking about where the church should go. At that time, the church really was you know, talking about ukulima, making sure that the mission gardens are looked after, the missions are farming and keeping at times livestock in some instances. It was such a revolutionary awakening for me that the church could be more than just about preaching the Holy Spirit, Jesus, God, of course, the perfect three. And in that moment, I left very inspired, and I wondered if I would ever encounter this man again in my life. And at that time, I must have been 10 when I encountered presiding Bishop Dandala. And he left me so inspired then when the Millennium you know, a campaign started, Christ Healed Africa for the Healing of Nations. And we had those envelopes where we had to make contributions. I used to take money from my own money and put it in those envelopes. And not only just because I believed in the mission, and it's because I was inspired by the presiding bishop when I first encountered him, and I believed there was much more that he could offer to our country and not just only to the church. I was not wrong in that because I would next encounter Mfundisi in the Congress of the People in 2009 during the campaign trail. The first time I encountered him in the Congress of the People, of course, his last duties in the church would have been the conference in Maputo of the All Africa Council of Churches in December 2008, where former President Thabo Mbeki spoke as a keynote speaker. Maybe that ought to have been a signal that maybe he's going somewhere. But I encountered him in the campaign trail, and I remember this activation very well. It was a morning during the week. We were students, but hey, I don't even think we were studying at the time. The way we were so crazy about COPE. And Mfundisi was doing what we call a train blitz So he got on a train, I think somewhere in Soweto, and we received him at the park station in the CBD. And then we walked up with him, and there were journalists. And in true fashion, then he used to roll up his sleeves when he was doing political work. Some of you might remember him having his shirt sleeves rolled up at the Seshego final rally of the Congress of the People in Polokwane just before the elections, but I'll get there. And we are on the campaign trail. And because ngumfundisi mos, and he's being asked by a journalist as we are walking up towards Bramfontein, handing out flyers, encountering ordinary people and selling the message of the Congress of the People. The journalist asks umfundisi ukubana what is his position, and it was mainly around questions of sexuality. To say what is his position on homosexuality and all of this. And I think maybe the journalist thought they had pinned Umfundis, and he really answered, embedding his answer in the Constitution about our equalness and about our enjoyment of the human rights that have been bestowed upon us by the liberation struggle, and that nobody, irrespective of sexuality and irrespective of their own choices that they choose with their bodies, the Congress of the People will govern for all South Africans. And again, I was impressed. But now it was 10 years later since the first time I had encountered Umfundis. And now I was 20. And I followed through. I walked, probably just greeted him, didn't have a conversation with him, but I had a conversation with people that he was with, Abo Lorato Tsinkeng, who then went to work with him in Parliament. Even them, it was my first encounter of them, but I knew at least Bona, I have an opportunity to get close to them. Then through them, I will worm my way up into Mfundisi's office and then remind him of that encounter in 1999 and hope to sit at his feet and really get to learn. I just want to say I've had the utmost privilege over the last 16 years of close contact, to the point that I consider him my worldly chosen father. And I think I was actually with Hlomla not long ago, and I was telling him that, no, don't worry, he's your biological father, but you know what, he's also my father. I've got equal claim to him. And in the Congress of the People, Umfundisi became such a guiding light. But his introduction to COPE was not an easy one. The church itself was contesting whether what needs to happen to him. And, I then realized the courage of his conviction when, even if it meant he had to resign from the church and be decollared, he was willing to go through that process, having accomplished all that he could have been in terms of the highest seat within the Methodist Church, in terms of the highest seat within the All Africa Council of Churches. But he thought that he has done his time of service in the station that is called the church, and that it was time to embark on a different journey to serve his country and his people in the best way that he believed that his true Lord had called him to do so in that moment. And that indeed in our lifetimes, we may be many things multiple times, but as long as we remain rooted in the conviction and the vision of restoration, in the vision of justice, in the vision of being hopeful, and in the vision of going and taking society forward. He has this quip sometimes when he's excited. Your hope for change. Hope for change, ebantwini. And he would take us through infusing in us the kind of value system we must approach politics with. That it's not just about us getting votes from people. It's about seeing people, it's about listening to people, and it's about walking a journey with communities. Of course, on the side of COPE, we had decided that part of the problem that was looming in our society was that there was a collusion of the party and the state, and that COPE wanted, as a strategic proposition, policy proposition, that in our manifesto we had said, we want to separate the state from the party. And for us to do that, we said there should be a separate state president to the president of the party that is in government at the time. And therefore, COPE became a pioneering light to be the first political party to declare that it would have a presidential candidate. This made many very nervous that it was an attempt to rob the then president, now recently late, may his soul rest in peace, Terra Likota, an opportunity to be the one who is the face of the election. But because he was the registered president with the IEC, there was no way that Terra Likota would not be the face of the election, because it would be his face on the ballot paper. Again, that was another interesting technical debate to have internally within the ranks of COPE as we prepared for the elections, and whether or not then the presidential candidate should be substituted as the party president. I think that became a bit of a step too far, that it would seem as if Umfundisi has come to hijack the organization. And I think he was probably one of the first people to dismiss that suggestion that he be made the president of COPE on the books of the IEC, so that his face, which was beamed on the posters that we gladly and proudly put up on those street lights, where they had his face, but the ballot would have Likota's face. I think Umfundisi himself said, no, the confusion is not there. The vehicle is the Congress of the People. My face is just to say I would be the leader. At that time, in 2009, I was the chairperson of this Methodist Student Society at the Wits University. And I mean, this did create a lot of turmoil for us Methodists, because those of us who then became very much aligned with COPE, and not even because of Umfundisi, by the way, some of us who got into COPE had taken the decision from the manner in which former President Mbeki was removed in September 2008. We had participated in the National Convention in November. Many had gone to Bloemfontein for the founding of COPE. There was no Dandala name in the room at that time, but it just became a coincidence that some of us were Methodists. He was a former presiding bishop, and we were seen to be taking sides in the conversation that the church was having. But nonetheless, I think it was an interesting teaching moment about politics, the church, about church people in politics, and about our duty to serve. I know, Dr. T, my time is almost up, but allow me to say a few quick things. Umfundisi, COPE became successful. He participated in leading an extremely successful campaign under hostile conditions, when we were being booted out of venues, when we were being forced to have meetings under trees, when we were being intimidated. Hlomla, I won't expose you in terms of what happened to you when you were in DUT campaigning by the students. But a lot of things happened to us, but we soldiered on because the mission was quite clear. We could see that something was going wrong in the body politic of South Africa. Umfundisi then went on to lead the parliamentary caucus of the Congress of the People in Parliament as of after the elections in April 2009. We then started to see him in action. We then started to see his style of debate elevating and raising the bar in terms of content, in terms of gravitas, and suddenly his statesmanship-like posture came to life. His statesmanship-like thought leadership came to life. Suddenly we knew that politics was not just about hurling insults. Politics was about championing the issues that people had, championing the vision for the country, and attempting to fulfill the liberation promise within the hallways of those St. Mark's building on Plain Street in Cape Town. Umfundisi then went on a number of visits across the world, and he would be so excited when he would get into, spaces that make him understand something differently. I remember, Mfundisi, I don't know if you remember, you went on a parliamentary tour of in Latin America, whether you were in Brazil or Argentina. But there was a day you had a phone call with Lorato, and I happened to be with him, and he placed you on loudspeaker. And you said, kuye, le mana esithetha ngayo eBhayibhelini, this mana, Lorado, can exist in real life. It just needs policies that are implemented by those who are in leadership. The things that we are learning in this visit, in this tour, and then you started unpacking. When I come back in my debate, I want you to focus on this thing. Do you get me? Do you get me? And you know, and it was coincidence that I happened to be in the same room with Lorado and he had that call with him, but I just got your excitement. And then in October 2009, I invited you because at that time, then I was coordinating the student movement. And the first policy conference to happen in Cope, I am glad to say, was organized by us, the students. It was a student movement policy conference at the University of Pretoria. And you did not deny or decline our invitation because we were students. You came and you pitched up with a degree of seriousness. And there is one lesson that you left us with in that October 2009. It's etched in my memory. You said, this mantra that the ANC has good policies and the only problem is implementation is intellectual laziness. You young people are not going to help us to sharpen our thinking and sharpen our policies if you continue to tell us that the only problem with the ANC is the driver and not the bus. Your duty as young people is to use your intellectualism, your intellectual tools to help us sharpen. Of course, you left us with many more other lessons during that period, but that particular one remains in my memory forever. Mfundisi, we then, of course, saw the trials and tribulations that visited you in Parliament, in particular when COPE was preparing for its first conference in May 2010. Now, at that time, you and I had started to become a bit close. We could actually make some phone calls and talk to each other. And in the build-up to that, of course, we remember Mbazi Mashilowa was on holiday in Japan. Then President Terry Likota called a press conference and said Mbazi Mashilowa, who was your chief whip and you were the caucus leader, was stealing money, which also to a degree would be implicating you because you'd have been part of that caucus leadership. And as we move towards the conference, you made it clear to some of us that your greatest attribute as an individual is to build organizations. I also remember those words very carefully. You said, look on, I build organizations. I don't mind. If Terra wants to go to Parliament and be caucus leader, he can do that. And that is why I'm saying, I don't mind if you make me SG. Of course, the record is quite public in terms of what happened to that conference. It was interdicted by the President Likota, and it didn't carry on. When we carried on with deliberations on the next day after the interdict, because we then said we can't waste so much money. At least let's have the policy part of it, even if we don't have the elections. You were not in the room in the morning. I remember bumping into Shomla and asking if you were well. I was just concerned that you may not have been well. He assured me that you are well, even though your phone was off. And I think eventually we caught up either later or so on. A month after that conference or later in May, because the conference I think was scheduled for 10 May 2009, if memory serves me well. A month later, you called me and you said you were ready to resign. And I said to you, on the spot, I decline. It is not going to happen. And I enlisted Omamunolita Vukuza, Osipongwema to talk to you, and you abided and you remained. But the hardship continued. The crumble of COPE began to be a reality just a year after such a successful election, after such a successful participation. And the weight of your sacrifice, I have no doubt, started being felt and mounted on your shoulders. In August 2010, after the Soccer World Cup, when you called and you said, Lukona, ndikhululeni, I said to you, Mfundisi, it is okay. I can see the conditions. Things are not okay. You can leave. Sakukhulula Mfundisi. And that became the end of the journey that we walked together with all those multiple sacrifices that were done in that particular period. And I just felt so sorry that you had put to the altar all your legacy in the Methodist Church. And
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's the thank you were getting from the very same people. You had put all that you had been, shelved it away, allowed the church to strip you of all your memories from Mpangeni to Port Elizabeth to Johannesburg to Nairobi. But you walked, but you stayed in touch, and you remained an elder to us. And I just want to say, in that time, in the Congress of the People, when you left, I knew that something had broken. And when the December Heartfelt Arena conference happened, and members of the Congress of the People hit each other with chairs, some of them ending up in hospital, I also knew that my time was up. And in June, July 2011, I also left the Congress of the People, only for us to beautifully reunite again at the Manning Road Methodist Church in 2012. And we then continued, and we continue till now. What always will pain me the most as I close is that South Africa was robbed of a leader. At least when we say Thabo Mbeki came before his time and he's charged with having been aloof, I often say South Africa was robbed with a leader filled with compassion, deep love and respect for the people of this country. The last thing that I've forgotten that I want to put on record is that you were the first person in February, March 2010 to move a motion of no confidence on former President Jacob Zuma. Again, with such humility, you took such umbrage and insults, even from people like Lindiwe Sisulu, whose parents you had known very well and she had known you very well. But because of the vulgarity of politics that were prevalent at that time, she did not hold back her insults towards you. I still remember them very well, and if anybody is interested, her speech is still on Politics Web from that parliamentary debate when she was defending Jacob Zuma from the motion of no confidence moved by Mfundis. Mfundis, at least in the Congress of the People, you served us well. You gave us teachings and memories. You respected us, you mentored us. But I'm still so glad that even today, I can call you my father, I can call you my friend, and I can celebrate your life. And I'm so glad that we can do this after all that you've been through in health and in all of it. And thank you so much, Sis T. And thank you so much, CPT, for organizing this. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lukhona. I felt it was a moment of catharsis as you were crying. I was also crying, and I know that Fundis Dandala was also crying internally. But thank you for gifting us with those reflections, Lukhona. They're important. Hence, I was patient with you in terms of time. You know me, ordinarily, I would have. That era of cope is an important aspect of Rev. Dr. Dandala's legacy. You cannot. You just cannot talk about Dr. Dandala, the unifier Dr. Dandala, everything he had achieved, and leave that part of COPE. So I'm grateful for that, but I don't want to waste time. From COPE to back the Methodist Church, a bishop, former presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Bishop Ziposiwa, will do reflections. The presiding bishop, Pumlanzi Mande, she was going to join us, but then there was an emergency. So she sent her love and all that Bundvume has been to her and to all the people called Methodists. But Bishop Siwa is poised to reflect more in that regard. Bishop Siwa? Bishop Siwa? There could be issues of internet or network rather. IT team, please check Bishop Siwa's as network. Whilst we're waiting for Bishop Siwa, can we please ask Rev Finga to please introduce Reverend Dandala, just to give us who Reverend Dandala is, and then if Rev Siwa's network is cooperating, and then we'll take back Reverend Siwa. I just don't want us to have a gap because we're running against time. Reverend Finga, whilst we're waiting for Bishop Siwa. I saw Rev Finga. Rev Finga? Are we having a crisis of network? Am I audible even if we've got a crisis of network?
Yes, you are audible. Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. I saw, yes.
Dr. T, good evening, everyone. You are absolutely audible. We might have a problem with connection from the Siwa compound
It's
because
fine.
of where they are.
It's
So,
fine.
yes.
Yes.
Is it
fine.
okay if we take some comments from the chat box and then
No,
we
no,
can wait for the
no.
Siwa family?
Later, dear. No, later, dear. We'll do that later. Do we have Reverend Finga? Let's take Reverend Finga. Please, Reverend Finga, introduce to us Bishop Dandala. I see Reverend Finga.
Thank you, moderator, and greetings to everyone. I think I must confess that this tender has been awarded to me a bit unfairly.
Yes.
To be called upon to introduce our distinguished guest of honor and our celebrant when our audience is full of very accomplished Methodists who know him far more better than me and who are much more qualified to speak more eloquently and at length about his illustrious life of service to the church, the Methodist Church first, the church with a capital C, the service that he has given to the nation, the service that he has given to the continent, the service that he has given to the world. To be asked to do this when there are so many Methodists in the platform is a bit unfair. But the tender, of course, has been awarded to me.
Yes.
And it is not part of our culture to decline tenders, especially when it is a tender of this magnitude. I do not intend to try to give a resume of the life of Bishop Mvume. That resume is rich, it is prolific, it is well documented, and it is known. Instead, I wish to make a few comments on the substance of the life of Mvume. From my own perspective, I want to look at the measure of the man, that which in my view has differentiated him and has made him to stand out. And I want to try to be brief, like a good Presbyterian.
Yes.
It was at the seminary in Alice in 1972 that I met Mvume for the first time. Together with the late Mongezi Guma, the Anglican, and Stanley Green, who was then a Congregationalist, We were the youngest of the seminarians. But although, of course, we were young, that did not deter us from punching above our weight. Umvume then was quite rural. Believe it or not, in the way he walked, in the way he dressed, in the way he spoke, there was the simplicity, the naivety almost, that lack of sophistication that you normally find in rural boys of that time. And this drew me closer to Mvume because I was equally very rural, if not worse, coming from a tiny village of Mbendle in KZN. But when I got closer to Mvume, I then realized and discovered that beyond the simplicity of the dress code and the rest, there were formidable qualities of greatness that were in his life. There was excellence, there was finesse, and there was formidable fortitude in Mvume. He arrived at FETSEM, that crucible of the struggle for liberation and for justice. And it took advantage of rubbing shoulders and sharing the same space with great giants like Dr. Simon Kobule, Sitwibo Dwane, Njongo Ndungane, Stanley Mohoba, Francois Bill, Jack McKelvey, and others. Some were members of faculty and some were senior students that were found at the seminary in that year. And he started to learn that it was time for us to fight for a cause that is greater than ourselves. The unrelenting fight that was going on between the University of Forte and the seminary at that time adequately prepared Mvume for the fight that he was going to carry on outside the gates of FETSEM. A fight that he fought for 5 decades of his ministry. He took the fight from FETSEM time to everywhere where he has lived and he has served. In the communities where he has ministered, within the structures of the church, outside the structures of the church, in the various positions that he has occupied against apartheid and racism, against hunger and poverty, against Black on Black violence. Mvume has constantly carried on a fight based on the principles that he believes in. And that fighting spirit went on beyond 1994. And it took him to outside the borders of our country, culminating in the All Africa Council of Churches, where he served in the unenviable position as the Secretary General of the AACC, where he was crossing the continent in hard and difficult conditions, confronting warlords and dictatorships, intervening in countries where there is war and conflict, where there is hunger and poverty, and where there are epidemics of disease, giving his life, trying to build an Africa that is united, Africa that is at peace with itself, Africa of which we can be proud. I am conscious that I have just scratched the surface. I could go on and on and on. Because, moderator, we are gathered this evening not just to listen to a great speaker, but we are gathered to sit at the feet of a Gamaliel of our generation, to listen to a man who has embraced throughout the 50-odd years of the values that I saw in him in 1972. Excellence in all what he sets out to do, finesse in the tasks that he is given, whether they are great or they are small, and fortitude to be a servant leader of the people of God. So when he resigned his seat in Parliament, I was not surprised. His understanding of leadership is very different from the understanding of leadership that you find over there. A leader who values morality, a leader who values integrity, a leader who values ethics, and a leader who embraces humility and simplicity. With a great pride and a lot of admiration, with immense respect, I present to this platform a pastor par excellence, a leader who has been a servant at the highest level and at the lowest level. And he has served without changing his demeanor and without altering his character. I am presenting one of the greatest servants of the pulpit that South Africa has ever produced in our generation. A visionary leader, a colossus, and a shepherd who has deeply cared for the soul of our nation. We are privileged to have him speak to us this evening. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Rev Finqa. I'm so glad that the tender was awarded to you. Because the ecumenical work of Reverend Dandala is evident here tonight, having people across denominations. We've got people across the the continent with the work Dr. Dandala did during the all churches era. We also have, I saw some friends of the Dandalas. Professor Ndlejana is in the room. I also see part of that community project he was involved in, the Johannesburg Housing Company. If you remember that time, and Dr. Dandala worked with Tafi Adia and his wife, who's a colleague of mine, a professor at Wits, professor of mathematics at Wits. I see colleagues from other parts of the continent. I also see a friend of Mrs. Dandala, amongst many, many other friends. AJ Shosho, and many other friends. So I'm trying to scroll down and see. So as and when I say, I will call out your names, and I know everybody who's here has got a special place to the Dandala family. And over the years, the relationships that have been built are solid, and that's the reason we are here. Whilst we're still battling with the network of the former presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Bishop Siwa, once that network is sorted, he will come on board. But because we don't want to waste time, now I will invite the only daughter, the youngest child. That's nice. The youngest child and the only daughter of the Dandalas, Gqibelo. Dandala, the name Gqibelo in Xhosa, Gqibelo, the last one, only daughter. Oh my goodness. And the relationship between Gqibelo and his parents, Gqibelo and his father and her father, you see it in pictures. Gqibelo, please share with us reflections from your family, kind of father, brother, uncle, and how do you see your father's legacy? Sometimes we interpret it from the outside, but you were there, you saw it, and you saw moments, all moments of your father's legacy. Over to you, Gqibelo. I won't talk again, Gqibelo, until after your father has spoken. You'll do what you do best. Gqibelo, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sis T. Thank you so much, Sis Telela. Good evening, everyone. And first of all, thank you, everyone, for being here. I know that some people are saying, obviously, we'd be here, but I speak as a daughter who just is so humbled to see so many people saying, yes, we will take the time to come and honor your father. Now, that's how I receive it. I know that when you honored this invitation, you were not honoring it because Udada is Gqibelo's father. You were honoring it because of who he is, and I don't take that lightly. So genuinely, first of all, I just want to appreciate each and every one of you. Baninzi obhuku apha, abantu basekhaya, bakhona nongwane, abantu basekhaya kulo mama. I see colleagues of mine, I see dear friends of mine, people who have known Utata as a parent and both of my parents as parents through me. So I acknowledge each and every one of you. The Ndebele family, and Impo, I know are on here as well. So it's really just fantastic, and I thank you all. And it's interesting, Sis T, that you're saying, Doba, you know, I've been there through it all. So on my side, it's not that I know Utata as umfundisi, it's just Utata is umfundisi. So it's not that that's how I know him. That's who simply is, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't know an alternative. And so what I think I'd like to do is to just share some of my anecdotes and some of the things that, or rather who Utata is and has been to me, and also to try and help explain to you who, not just who he is, but more importantly, why he is who he is, because I think these are sometimes family stories that are often not known. So you said, Sister, I've been there from the beginning. So let me tell you how crazy the beginning is. Ulukona made mention talking about Ndoba Udada started his journey in the ministry from Mpangeni. So that's where I was born. I was there. And the more interesting part is I think I'm the only human on earth who knows the GPS location of where they were conceived, because I was in London a couple of years ago and I had a free weekend, and I thought, you know what, let me take a train over to Cambridge just to see, you know, where Otata were when he was at Wesley College, where he did his theology and his masters and all. And so I told Otata that, you know, I'm heading over to Cambridge for the day. But make sure about ufike Jesus place. You must find a Jesus place. And I go, okay. So I take a train and I go over and I get to Jesus place. And obviously now I need evidence. So I'm standing, there's a sign, it's a building, there's a sign saying Jesus place. And I ask someone to take a picture, and I'm standing and I'm pointing up saying, I found it. And I send this picture to them. And the response I got was, oh, that's where you were conceived. So, like I said, I'm the only person I know of who knows the GPS location. But what's really interesting about that is that is where Utata was studying theology. And I think it was, in a way, a precursor for the kind of father that he would be and the way that he would introduce religion to us. Oftentimes, people would say, what's it like to have Umfundisi as a father? And my short response is, I don't know what it's like to have umfundisi, to have a father who is not umfundisi. So be clear, what are you asking me specifically? And oftentimes people were, you know, the comment would be, or the question would be, didn't he force Jesus down your throat, you know, told to go to Sunday school and then you must do this and that? And I said, actually, no. We went to Sunday school. It was there. It was in our yard. We couldn't avoid it. We lived where the Sunday school was. But in terms of our journey with faith and with church, and it's only as an adult that I realize how much restraint and respect it took for abazali, both umama and utata, to not impose religion on us. But we didn't grow up with religion being imposed on us. What we instead witnessed was religion and ukholo and faith in action. So we weren't told, you must do this, you must do that. We simply witnessed it and we assumed that to be normal. And I'm grateful for that. And many times I speak to people about my understanding of Methodism and Wesleyism, and I speak as a pleb. And my understanding of Wesleyism comes from the teachings, Katata, where in his excitement, that excitement to look on I was referring to, he would share with me who John Wesley was and what his premise was for church and religion, which I find fascinating. So it gives me a unique, not just understanding, but even just for someone who is not umfundisi on their own personal journey, a wonderful insight of what being a person of faith can and should look like. So I'm deeply grateful that he was never one to impose ukholo. He demonstrated it. Now, interestingly, he also allowed me, in retrospect, I don't know why, but I'm grateful. He allowed me to be a critic. And, you know, obviously I witnessed many sermons, and he was open to my feedback where I would say, and then there would be other times where I'd say, hey, ibivagala. And when I think back to this, at times I was not even a teenager yet, and at times it was my teen years. But to have that openness and that space to engage and to engage faith, and that I think for me was is really special. And the things I've been hearing, and I think the things we'll continue to hear about Utata, are testament to the fact that it was not just in the home and that he was this way. He was like that even in his work. Now, you made an interesting comment, Sis T, and a few people referred to it about Utata's calm demeanor. And I must admit, I chuckled. I chuckled because something that I think many people don't realize is Utata loves to play. Uyathanda udlala utata. Literally, one of my earliest memories is of Sise Kitchen. And it was Christmas time. So andageko, it's just the four of us. Umama, utata, uhlomla nam. And umama, if anyone knows her, yathanda ubhaka, yathanda upheka, right? So she was whipping up a storm, a bhaga, elungiselela Christmas. And she's there doing it by herself, but sikhona ekitchen nathi. Wasigxotha, wathi phumani. Sithi ngoba, uthi niyaniphazamisa, niyadlala. Now, she says this to Hlomla and I, and we turn around and we say, ngutata lo sidlalisayo. Wathi hambani nonke nobathathu. Right? So there's always just been this wonderful, playful nature that he's had, and a wonderful sense of humor that he carries with him in all that he does and in who he has been. And it's something that you really appreciate, because it allows one to also have even difficult conversations. It gives space to have those difficult conversations, because there's that lightness of humor that can be fused with those conversations to be able to then address whatever the difficult topic is. I want to tell you a little bit as well about Udada's background, ebufundisini. So 2 quick stories, true stories. The first is about his grandfather and how Udada ended up being umfundisi, if you ask me. So my great-grandfather, he was a seasonal mine worker. And he would go to Joburg when it was his season to mine. Then, when the season ended, he would go back to Ekai, Transkei. And during one of his off seasons, during one of his seasons, some missionaries came to the village where my great-grandfather lived with his wife, my great-grandmother, Mangwan. And he wasn't necessarily chuffed, let's be clear. He wasn't happy that they were there. But my great-grandmother, being this person of just a big heart, allowed them to stay. And these missionaries were doing 2 things. They were teaching religion and faith using the Bible. And so the second thing that they were doing was teaching literacy using the Bible. Anyway, these people were in his house. The least he could do is to learn to read and write, okay? So he goes back to season in the mines. This is my great-grandfather. And before his first shift, the mine managers or bosses, they said, wait, is there anyone here who knows how to read and write? And he puts up his hand and says, yes, I can. And then they said, oh, okay, prove it. So there he is doing a little test, writing his name and surname and so on. And they said, okay, just because you can read and write, you don't have to go down the mine, number 1. And number 2, you will get paid more than the ones who go down the mine. And that's when the penny dropped for him, that, oh my goodness, just because I can read and write, I have a less strenuous job and I get paid and I get paid more. So immediately he sent word back home, Wati, I want every single one of my children to learn from those people in my house how to read and how to write. And so it's no coincidence that my grandfather, who is my great-grandfather's son and who is my father's father, became, number 1, a minister, and number 2, a teacher. So again, it was no surprise that my father would then become a minister, as did his middle elder brother as well. They both became abefundisi. So it's not surprising that this is the journey that he ended up on. But I think what's really interesting for me is the lessons that he took from my grandfather. And the key lesson being that when you are a pastor, your job is to be of service to God's people. And the service that you provide is based on the need of God's people. And as a result, there are many stories Udada would tell about how they would wake up at the break of dawn and be told, Masamben, which means, let's go, we're going to plant so-and-so's field. And my grandfather would go and plant the fields of his congregants who could not do it for themselves, because that was how he could be of service to God's people that he was shepherding and sent to serve. So this notion of servant leadership, my father witnessed it live from his grandfather. And so it's wonderful to hear how, even when others are speaking, that theme continued. And and I would like to believe it continues even further. The second story that I want to bring to your attention is just about a calling. Now, many people, we struggle with our calling. Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Should I be a teacher? Should I be a this and be a that? And one of the things that I find so unique about my father, and probably my brother actually, is that they are the two people who, from the day they were born, they were crystal clear on what their calling is. My father's first service, he was 5, maybe 6 years old. And he was with his elder middle brother. And a chicken had died. And they were given this chicken and told to go and throw the chicken away. But never could they simply throw the chicken away. They decided to give the chicken a funeral. And who was presiding over that service? Yes, it was my father at a precious 5 or 6 years old. So it's actually a story. I mean, there are many other stories of how he ended up going ebufundisini, but it's incredible for me how he was always clear on the fact that he was called to ministry.
Never anything other than.
He's never been anything other than umfundis. Now, here's a second story to be a testament to that. Then, fast forward to age 16. My father, now, I don't think this is publicly known information. My father writes matric at 16. And he doesn't exactly pass. I didn't say he failed, but he didn't exactly pass, right? So he's like, anyway, I want to be a pastor. So he goes to a seminar. Yes. Was it the seminar? Yes, a seminar of sorts. And he goes and says, I present myself as wanting to be a umfundis. And they're like, you're just a boy. You don't know what you're talking about. Go away. Come back in 2 years when you turn 18. Then we can have a conversation. So he went away. Him and his not quite past matric self. And in those 2 years, my father was a taxi driver. Yes, unotaxi mageza, the Reverend. And he drove taxis for 2 years. When he turned 18, left the taxis, went back. He said, I'm 18, I'm back. And the church, they couldn't turn him away because he had followed their instruction and he was back. And even him going to Cambridge, where I was conceived. I mean, it was good that they sent him, but the truth of the matter was, who was going to take seriously a 21-year-old reverend who happened to look 18 just because he had that first qualification? So the church had to do something with him because he clearly was going nowhere. So one of those little known facts is one of the reasons they sent him abroad was to say, let's just go keep him busy. A few years, so off he went to Cambridge and came back. Still came back a young man in 1977 when he was 27. When he was 26. But point is, he's just never lost focus on the fact that he just wanted to be a pastor. He was going to do his PhD, but he was advised that if you do your PhD, you're not going to go into circuits and be a pastor there. And that's where his heart was. He wanted to go be in church and to be of service. And so that's why he didn't do his PhD, because he wanted to go and work in communities and a church level. And part of the poignancy of this story in particular is that the last time he saw his father was when he was taking off in an airplane, going, in fact, to Cambridge. And my grandfather's parting words to him were, and I'll translate them into English, were, "Go and serve the world, my son." And that's what he has done. And that's what he has followed. And that's what has been his North Star in every decision he has made, in every circuit he has gone to, in every appointment he has accepted. The question he would ask, and still to this day asks of himself, is, will this responsibility, position, or task, will this be in fulfillment of that instruction to be of service to God's people? And so I've grown up seeing this. And obviously I assumed that, first of all, this is normal, but secondly, that this is what everybody does, what every pastor and every reverend and every person who is called to the cloth does. I've since come to realize and to know that that's not necessarily true, but it's never changed my belief that it actually should be the case, though. It should be the standard. And so, Sister Stella, I could go on and on and on, but I just thought these are stories that are little known, but these are also stories that speak to his calling, to his faith, and to his journey, and more importantly, to who he has been to me as a father. So my parting shot is, thank you again, all of you, for just honoring him while he is alive and giving him his roses while he is alive. His greatest achievement being my father. I call him Dash Dash. Thank you, Sister Helen.
Thank you, Dash Dash and Dash Dash, the other side. Thank you, Gavelo, for those reflections. And I don't want us to waste time. I think we need to proceed to have your father talking to us. It's winter, so it does get cold. Bishop Dandala and Gavelo.
Are you ready?
Yes, you're there. Thank you.
Dada, it's over to
Thank-
you. Can
Thank
I
you,
just,
Tere.
yeah, Dada,
Thank you, Tere.
can I just please put a little guiding post in your conversation? Please do not forget to tell us, one, about your time teaching at Ohio State University when you would go there for a semester. I loved it. You were gone 3 months, but the toys you brought us, I loved it. So please mention that. Secondly, please don't forget to mention how you came to be. It came to be that you were the person who married Tatu Mandela and Grasa Machel, because we all want the juice on how that came. Over to you, Dash Dash.
On his way.
Thank you. Bishop Dandala, over to you. Thank you, Gibbs. Yes, here you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Chelela, I want to thank first the people who have come to listen to these stories. Thank you for your support of this lecture. I allow me to thank first the Reverend Whiteman, who opened this. And also, I want to thank Reverend ex-presiding bishop, Reverend Ivan Abrams. I thought by now he will have spoken, or he is still going to speak.
Yes.
And I am sorry that Bishop Siwa, the other ex-president, ex-president emeritus of the Methodist Church, allow me to thank virtually all the people who spoke here. I want to thank Nyambos for remembering things that happened long ago. I want to thank Dr. Fina. We were students together at the seminary. We were young. I usually considered Reverend Fina, Reverend Guma, and Green. I usually considered them my age mates. We were the youngest at the seminary. I want to say thank you very much for the words that he has shared. They've moved me very much. I want to say thank you to Dr. Philip. I want to say thank you to Lukhona Mnguni. And Kubelo, my daughter. By the way, before I forget, I want to pass my condolences to Reverend Kumari and the CCT, because they are the one who have moved that this event takes place. And also to you, Telela, because I did not expect it at all. I heard from you that there was this which was being planned. Let me thank Mr. Lukhona Mnguni, because hope is one event that I seemed to think that most people would like to have it forgotten. They did not speak of it. When they speak about me, and I have kept quiet also because I prefer it to be judged by the people what I did at that time. I thought that they were not approving. And anyway, I believe that there was something to be said at that time. I believed that God was saying something to South Africa. Anyway, Lukhona spoke about when I left, because the party had started to find itself. But I've never been afraid of the things I believe God was saying at the time. I know that a lot of people, especially Methodists, were unhappy. But I know that some of them believed, and they did not take my going to join COPE lightly. I still say the same things. I've never been moved to think otherwise, because our country was starting to deteriorate. I am glad that there were people, especially there were young people who heard, who are now fighting. One thing they will never say is that our parents live in circumstances that were unhappy, that were not well. They accepted it. They cannot say that. Anyway, I am grateful that I did take the plunge. It was not easy. It introduced a lot of difficulties in our lives. Even when we experience them, one thing that never happens, I never say, this is all because of COPE. and get angry. No. I accept it. For all these years, I have kept quiet, watching the situation. It has come to where it is today. But thank God, there are young people who will fold their sleeves and fight. I value the way I was brought up. Without going back too far, I thank my parents for allowing me to join the ministry. I remember when I said to my father, I want to join the ministry. He was sad. He said to me, there are many opportunities. You can take those and make money and live well. I said no. I wanted to join the ministry. He said, well, go. God will be with you. You will never make money. And anyway, here we are. We are not rich, but we are not poor. God is looking after us. I remember when he allowed me to preach at school. I remember when Reverend McKinnon, our warden, allowed me to preach. I used to find joy when I was proclaiming the good news. Even now, my joy is in the proclamation of the good news. I remember when I was at Mdantsane, Mr. Chweza, an old steward there, asked me, how would you like to be remembered? I said, as a preacher of the good news. I thank God that I lived and experienced that. I went to the seminary. As my daughter said, I'm not sure whether they were sending me there because they could not quite know where I could be used, and so pushed me to the seminary. If that is the case, I'm grateful. I met Reverend Kubule. I met Mr. Mohoba. I met the late Bishop Duane. They opened the scriptures for me. I saw, but even more, I thanked them for being critical of the situation, because in that they taught us how to be critical when you preach the gospel. After that, I went to East London. I remember I was in my father's van and we were putting in petrol. And this petrol attendant said to Wesley, who was driving, "Where are you going?" And I told him. He stopped. He said, "Son, if you are faithful, you will find men and women who are faithful to the gospel. Don't ignore them." I will never forget that. When I went to East London, I met mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. I met one, there is only one who is still alive of those, and I spoke to him today, Mr. Kolilezu. We used to preach. We used to visit the old people. And at times, we came across some of them who were poor. And we ministered to them with the little we had. We sang songs. I remember when I went to Mbange, I met Mrs. Tebekul, an old lady, who used to say to me, "Yabona mfana, ubujonge kuJesu awunolahleka." In other words, if you keep your focus on Christ, you will not get lost. I've tried to do that. The other things we have tried to be critical, tried to do everything, but my eyes have been focused on Christ. I met Mr. Giorgio. He was the judge now here in the Eastern Cape. He always insisted on doing the right thing all the time. I want to honor in this lecture the people of a small village in the north of KwaZulu called Mfeka. poor people. I went there and looked at these people, and I was supposed to take from them their contributions to the work. They gave me those contributions. Wow. I saw that they were trying to be able to live. They were working on mats, making mats, trying to sell them in the streets. And I thought, no. I went to the South African Council of Churches. And they put us in touch with the Swedish community. That had somebody who was buying things in South Africa. That person came to us to see in Vegai. Vegai was 132 kilometers away from my man's. They said they are not doing these things well, but they coached them. Within 4 weeks, the things of the people of Vegai were sold, and they received money. I cannot forget how they formed that situation into a partnership. I will always honor the people from Vegai. My superintendent was the Reverend Engelsman. He didn't know much about work in African communities. And the circuit I went to was the first to commit and to try to be interracial in its living and in its way of administering its finances. So, most of the questions the white community had came to me, and we were answering with Mr. Giorgio. Thank God that community grew into a formidable interracial circuit. I will always thank Bishop Wesley, Bishop John Bowman, Bishop Ivan, Bishop Evine, and Bishop Kozam Gocho. Later on, I met Bishop Peter Story. Those men helped me to find strength where I could have given up. They held me by the hand. They made me to focus on Jesus. Their trust and willingness to walk with me is what I will forever be grateful for. I recall when I was suddenly posted to Port Elizabeth. I had never been superintendent. I was 31. And in Port Elizabeth, they had never had a superintendent who was younger than 55. I will always be grateful to my wife, Humzi, because when I phoned him in a state, she calmly said, "Didn't you say you will go wherever conference send you? Go." She gave up her job to allow me to go to Port Elizabeth. That circuit was in trouble at the time. There was nothing right. Everything was falling apart. But thank God, he carried me. He carried me. He allowed me to be his witness there in Port Elizabeth. I know that I was imprisoned there, but my thanks were that when I came out, all the people of the circuit said, "We thank God." I remember one old man came to my house to the mission, knocked on the door, and I opened the door, and he laughed. He laughed. I thought, oh, this man has come to laugh because I've been in prison. I asked him to come in. He said, "Mfundis, I thank God every day because even now in our time, witnesses of Jesus suffer imprisonment. Be faithful, my son. Be faithful." I thank God for the courage of the people who have worked or have to accept my ministry. I want to talk about the time I was in Co. Lukhona Mnguni and some like Mrs. Nolita Vukuza always surprise me. I'm grateful that they understood why I came out, why I committed myself, why I was at Co. Anyway, I thank the people who have believed in me. There were students who were at the University of Zululand. We spoke the truth. We spoke the truth, and they have remained faithful. I thank the people who have heard the word that I have proclaimed, because it was what I believed to come from God. I pray that I will struggle all the time to be faithful. I recall the time when I went to the All Africa Conference of Churches. Some people asked me then, why are you being stupid? Can't you see the Methodist Church? I was 6 years presiding bishop. Why should you stand down? I believed that God wanted the church to be his faithful witness, whatever the circumstances. The All Africa Conference of Churches was dying. The people who were helping it were pulling off their money. I stopped and said to them, at the members of the All Africa Conference of Churches, at home, I'm doing an important work, but you can go to them and ask them if they will allow me. The people came. And at that time, they were not the leaders of the Methodist Church of South Africa were refusing to allow me to go. I remember among them was the Reverend Paul Verey, a very courageous young man. But in the end, the church allowed me to go to the AACC. I found there a young man, Bright Maudo. When the others left, I asked him to remain. He remained. I remember the first task was to go to Holland and make a case for that month's salary. They hesitated. I had asked them. But in the end, they said, all right, we will allow you 6 months. We will support you. Until I left, they had increased their giving to the AACC. There were others. And Bright was making sure that all the money of the SACC was kept well. And my task was to go to the churches, ensure that they were doing what they are supposed to do. I traveled this continent up and down. And the people began to feel the support. The people from Holland, from Germany, from England, everywhere gave us money to do the work that we saw needed to be done. We praise God for the response of the African church at that moment. Things happened. Things happened. Wow. We cannot thank God enough. I forget now what my daughter said. I must speak on the two things she said.
Oh,
But
being a visiting lecturer at Ohio State University, and we've got people here from Columbus, Ohio. Ohio, the state university there.
I don't remember. He will have told you.
We got
Yeah.
there's toys from students. Okay. And you must be at Mandela's wedding. How did you get the gig?
And then, of course, I presided over the wedding of our leader, the man to whom we doff our hats. I had a phone call at home, and he said, "Hey, Doug, Reverend Dandala, can I speak to you? Can we have breakfast at 6 here at my home?" I said, yes, okay. And by 6 o'clock, I was waiting at the gate because I knew that he was very exact in his time. He told me there is somebody he wants to marry. But he first took me to confidence. Please don't say anything about it. Then he asked if I could marry him and Rasa. And I agreed. It was difficult to keep quiet. I was thanking God all the time. The press was not coming to me. It did not come to their minds that Mr. Mandela was a Methodist, and therefore they should come and ask me about his plans. Until the day of the wedding, before the wedding first, we were at conference and Mr. Mandela was our guest. He was speaking to us. Then when he finished, he held me and he bowed. And I think because he was not hearing properly, his voice was a bit lifted up. He said, "Do you remember you should be at my house tomorrow?" He said, "Please, let's not talk about it. I'll be there." I walked into the car. Then there was a journalist who had prepared the table nicely. And he led me to this table, take my seat there. And he asked me questions and about what he was saying, Mr. Mandela had been saying, because he had been very thankful to the Methodists. Suddenly she said, "And are you going tomorrow to his wedding?" I said, "Wedding?" And he said, "All right. I thought you knew I was trying my luck." I was thankful. I was thankful. And when I arrived at Mr. Mandela's place, the journalists didn't see me. I walked through a private gate he had told me about. And we had a wedding. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. At the end, I went out and there was a host of journalists. So one said, "Is he married now?" I didn't answer. They walked me to my car. I kept quiet and got in the car and left. But I am so honored to have been asked to do that wedding. Later, I went to his home, Ebatenjini, and there he said, he had arranged for me to fly down to be, and then I was there and I did the service there. And I spoke there. Anyway, it was now a free thing. It was no. That's what happened.
Yes. Yes.
And I would like, in my final words, to thank my wife, Kunzile. She has had many jobs, and good ones at that. But whenever there was a need for me to minister in a certain place, he didn't blink one moment. He resigned and went with me. Not only did he come, but he asked questions. He advised. He advised. That is the biggest gift he has been to me. She has been to me. She would say, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? I want to say to her again, thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom.
Yes.
That's it
Oh,
for now.
my goodness, this thing called time is a problem because there is so much that I know even from the comments. Thank you so much, Reverend Dandala, for those really poignant and profound reflections on your ministerial journey. And I was just thinking as I come to former presiding Bishop Ivan Abrahams, we're wrapping now. So just give us a moment, and we're grateful that you have been patient. I was just thinking that one of the things that we haven't spoken extensively about, but we know for a fact that the investment that churches did, especially during your era, investment in education has really paid dividends for this country. You were sent to Cambridge, your Professor Musella, they were at Manchester, others all over. You were with Bishop Ndungane also in Cambridge and across the world. That kind of education, churches were really committed in investing in their ministers. It didn't only benefit those denominations, it also benefited society. Perhaps if there was really time, we would be reflecting on what education can alter also the cause of history and change lives, irrevocable. And we're seeing that the very fact that you find conviction to go to cope. And I'm grateful that we have been able to get Lukona to reflect and answer the questions that have been hanging. Some of us are biographies, so we're interested in these things. We're interested in understanding what led Dr. Dandala to really decide, and the price it would seem he paid, but Lukona helped us. I won't waste your time. Thank you so much, Reverend Dandala, and thank you for thanking our beloved mother, the subject of my own writing, Dr. Phumzile Dandala, whose really support and love, uthando, as I always say, you calling each other uthando, uphi uthando lam. I hear it over the phone. And she has been so instrumental in your ministry. In fact, it is on her tears and on her shoulders that really your ministry became so successful. And we understood her sacrifices. So we're very grateful to Sis Phumzile. This is why it became incumbent on me to really zoom on her life and understand what is the making of the woman who sometimes is behind the scenes, but we see the greatness of the husband she's married. And then I went on that journey, and so much more came from that. So thank you, Sis Phumzile. Hlomla is also here, the firstborn. The firstborn is here, Hlomla Dandala. When they first saw a child, they saw Hlomla, and he's here. And he said he agrees with you. I was on a text with him, Gqibelo. He says, I agree with Gqibelo. Here and there, that he does. Bishop Abrahams? Bishop Abrahams, we're wrapping after Bishop Abrahams. He's here. Here you go. Over to you, Bishop. Sorry for the time constraint.
Dr. Vicar, the Dandala family, siblings in Christ, it is an honor, joy, and privilege to be with you tonight. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you to the Center of Constructive Theology for honoring one of the great sons of the continent. Mvumi, thank you for the kind words that you've had for everybody who was part of your journey in ministry.
Yes.
They wrote you into their story, and even at this stage of your life, you have honored them and you continue to write them into your story. I am glad to be able to call you a friend as we share a journey that goes back 4 decades. Speaker after speaker shared the different contours of your life with scrupulous honesty. They shared the highs as well as the lows. As we listened and reflected on your life again tonight, we have seen and heard the fire in your belly and in the marrow of your bones. We felt your charisma,
Yes.
your passion, your integrity, your commitment to servant leadership. Again, we heard a pastor, a shepherd, and a prophet. We heard the clarity of your thought. You an exegete not only of scripture, but of reading the social and political landscape. Thank you for the privilege of drinking from your calabash of wisdom. Again, we experienced your infectious collegiality and contagious enthusiasm that continues to win you friends across the world. You, my brother, personifies what it means to be a follower of Jesus in the Wesleyan tradition, where you translate your deep spirituality into action. In Wesley's dictum of mission, you hold together a holiness that is not separate from social holiness, and a thread that runs through your ministry is reconciliation. You took us to Impangeni, and you were so modest. You don't want to tell us that you are the first Black clergy person to be stationed in a multiracial congregation.
Yes. Yes.
You shared the challenges of PE North when we were in the vortex of the struggle against apartheid. You somewhat downplay, Vumi, your role in the mission department. When everybody was writing and speaking about indigenization and Africanization, I put Vumi, you did it.
Yes, man.
You did it. You introduced the Malahambi mission.
Yes.
Aye. Which was part of the transformation process in the Methodist Church. You didn't mention Zikuluseni. Come on, you taught us as Black people to stand on our own. Zik life, to be buried with dignity. when you went to the Central Mission, we can write a whole chapter about the hostels and of the conflict with the ANC and the IFP. I remember accompanying you to Richmond, where we visited one of the warlords over there. And was I scared? But you did not show it. At the All Africa Conference of Churches, you threw yourself, boots and all, in bringing about reconciliation in the post-election violence. And you've also got to take credit for bringing the Kimbangista Church into the World Council of Churches. This was a church where they questioned their doctrine, especially with regard to the Trinity. And I am inevitably grateful because through you introduced us to the World Methodist Council. Through World Evangelism, we had a big jamboree at Broederstroom, and I can definitely say, if you want to see the world, stay close to Vumi. St. Simon's Island, the conference in Bristol in the UK, Brazil, Italy, Korea, and I've got many, many stories to tell about being your travel mate, confidant, and partner on those journeys. Vumi, you also touched on the fact, but you did not speak specifically to it, but that you are a Pan-African and global ecumenist. Before we even spoke about the vision of a Christ-healed Africa for the healing of nations, you were the progenitor of that. You are the progenitor of the African Methodist Leadership Consultation, which morphed into the African Methodist Council. You were the moderator of the WCC International Relations Committee, and no doubt you continue to leave an indelible mark on many of our lives. You are a colossus, a visionary leader, a lodestar to many. And I have to say this, as a leader of a Methodist community, despite our cadence in public life, leadership comes at a great personal cost, often to our families. Nobody knows our tears and the trouble that we've seen, but Jesus and our families. Thank you, Pumzile. Vumi often speaks lovingly and kindly about you. Shlomla and Kobelo, your dad is very proud of you. You might not know it, but to me, who've journeyed with him, he is very proud of you. Tonight, Vumi, you have stimulated us intellectually. You have helped us recalibrate our moral compass. You have helped us reconnect to our spiritual moorings. You have assisted us and shown us that we've got to express gratitude to those people who considers themselves little in our lives. You have helped us to incubate dreams and fresh visions for ourselves, for our church, for our country, and for this world that God so loves. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Bishop Ivan Abrams. I'm so glad your network behaved. And thank you so much for those words. And I could see Bundvume really was beaming. And when you mentioned Gavelo and Shomla, and Gavelo was really beaming, and the mother. So thank you so much for blessing us with those beautiful words. There are many messages in the group. We'll copy them and make sure that Dr. Dandala, Reverend Dandala would read and see them and hear the comments and reflections from people here, because we no longer have the time. I would just pass these two messages, Reverend Dandala. Your brother, your beloved brother is here, Professor Bani Pikyana. And as you know, he really adores you. There's so much reflections himself he has about you. There's also a message here from Professor Fikile Mazibuko. It reads, "Thank you, Bishop Mvume and Dr. Phumzile Dandala. You have served humanity, your country in particular, and indeed Africa, with conviction, courage, grace, passion, and integrity. A grateful nation really thanks you." Thank you so much, Bishop Dandala. Now we ask for a vote of thanks from Dr. Daute, and then we will be wrapping up after the vote of thanks. Thank you so much for your patience. There was so much texture, richness. We couldn't rush the speeches, but we're really, really grateful. Dr. Daute, vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, my sister. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, clergy, scholars, friends, and family. I'm honored to be the one who's going to do the vote of thanks as we come to the close of this deeply enriching gathering. It is both an honor and a privilege to offer a sincere vote of thanks. Tonight has not merely been an event. It has been a sacred journey through memory, wisdom, struggle, faith, and the living witness of ministry embodied. Our heartfelt gratitude goes first to Dr. Thelela for serving as such as a powerful and graceful program director. Your stewardship of this evening carried dignity, it carried warmth and intellectual depth. You guided us with calm authority and ensured that every voice found its rightful place in this tapestry of remembrance and reflection. We also thank Father Whiteman for the powerful prayer that gathered our hearts into one sacred space. Through your words, we were reminded that every great life ultimately points us back to our Father, from which all vocation flows. Our appreciation goes also to Reverend Mthethwa Nyambose for welcoming us so warmly and taking us through memory lane. Your reflection helped us not only to remember history, but to feel it again, to encounter the footsteps, to encounter the sacrifices and courage that shaped the journey we honor today. To Lukona, I hope Lukona, I'm not certain whether he's here, but I'd really like him to get this. Thank you so much. One can only hope that one day you may fully capture and preserve the remarkable memories of the journey of Dr. Dandala in the establishment of Congress of the People. Such stories are not merely political narratives. They are part of the moral and spiritual archive of our nation. We extend sincere gratitude to Bishop Siwa, albeit the fact that he could not make it, but thank you to him as well. We also thank Reverend Fiete, for that powerful introduction of the celebrant. You captured not only the achievements of Reverend Dr. Dandala, but also the spirit of the man himself, his humanity, his courage, his intellect, and unwavering commitment to the unity and the healing of Africa. Indeed, he stands among the chameleons of our generation, a teacher, a guide, and a custodian of wisdom. To Gqibelo Dandala, thank you for your amazingly eloquent reflection. In you, we witness not only the daughter of Reverend Dr. Dandala, but also a living reflection of his values and legacy. You embraced yourself beautifully as part of the cosmos of his ministry, a ministry not confined to pulpits, but lived through action, compassion, and human dignity. The Wesleyan spirit has clearly been deeply ingrained in you, and your words touched us profoundly. And finally, to our celebrant, Reverend Dr. Dandala, thank you, Dad. Thank you for sharing with us your approach to life, the profound discipline of silence, and the courage to allow God to assume his rightful role. In a noisy and restless world where we find ourselves, you have reminded us that silence can itself become prophetic. It can be healing and at times be transformative. Tonight, you offered us more than a reflection. You proposed a healing methodology for both ministry and humanity. For many of us, this has been an aha moment, indeed an aha moment, a revelation that life itself can become a sermon long before words are spoken. We also thank Reverend Bishop Abrams for your meaningful contribution as a peer and a fellow traveler in the sacred vocation. Lastly, our deepest appreciation goes to the Center of Constructive Theology for continually providing a platform where we may encounter the powerful narratives of the giants of our time. In preserving these conversations, we are preserving memory, we are preserving theology and the struggle and hope for our future generation. To everyone who attended, everyone who contributed, everyone who organized, prayed and reflected and listened, thank you so much. May the wisdom shared tonight continue to echo in our hearts, shape our ministry, and inspire our journey. God bless you all, and thank you so much. Over to you, Telela.
Oh, thank you so much. This is, by the way, Acting Judge Tautse, and the newly minted doctor. She got a PhD today. So we're excited, but we told her she's going to be coming here. She's not going to be parting when we're celebrating our father. So she obliged. Here you see her, and you understand why we could not have had another person to do a vote of thanks but her. So she'll go and celebrate today or tomorrow evening. She's
Thank
here.
you.
May we please open our cameras and then we all do the benediction together. And it is a wrap. And thank you indeed to everyone who's here. Really been patient, listening. It's been wonderful. I saw a beautiful message from Dr. Vugoza of the kind of wisdom that came here today. But I also think, Dr. Dandala, it was also a moment of catharsis. I felt it, and I probably will be crying a bit this evening. But may we all open our cameras and then the benediction. Are the cameras on? Who starts? Sister, do you want to start? Pastors must start.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May the grace.
May the grace of our Lord Jesus
Our Lord
Christ,
Jesus Christ, the
the
love
love
of
of
God,
God,
And the fellowship of
the
the Holy
fellowship
Spirit
of the Holy
be
Spirit,
with us all
be
now
with
and
us
forevermore.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so
Amen.
much.
Forevermore.
We'll copy all your messages. All your messages will be copied so that Rev. Dr. Dandala can read them at his time. Thank you so much. And bye, everyone. Have a lovely evening. And Rev. Dr. Dandala, this is bedtime and TV time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Night.
Good night now.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
Bye.